welcome to a news-only super special animation weekly. It has been a minute. We missed you guys. Kari D is back in the studio, and she's going to tell us what she was doing while she was gone. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hey guys, welcome to Animation Weeklies. It's
epic.
It's epic.
So
We're fighting.
exciting.
We've been doing things, traversing this great country.
Oh, here we get the lights.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Watching the animation, looking at the news. Thank you guys for being here. I'm Joelle Monique. You can find me all over the internet at Joelle Monique and every week at blackgirlnerds.com. And tonight on the Disney lot, watching Black Panther.
Woo!
So excited. Kari D to my left.
Hey, how's it going? You guys can find me online at Kari D Lane. That's KARIDLANE.
Yes, excellent. As you can hear, there's Batman news. If there's Batman news, I'm there. We're also going to talk the Oscars, but first, I want to start with you.
Yes.
We're at Sundance.
Yeah, I went to Sundance and Slamdance. If you guys have no idea what Slamdance is, it's a smaller film festival at the same time, just up the street. So it's kind of cool that you can get two going on at the same time.
Two for the price of one.
And I actually talked to one of the co-founders. It pretty much was people who couldn't get into Sundance. They made their own film festival because they could all be there at the same time.
That is, first of all, cute.
Right?
Innovative, and Sundance has become, in and of itself, like an important film festival. Like, I think for something like that, you would think it might depreciate in value over time. Like, oh, those guys over there. But no, it's really a standout, and it's kind of great. It shows you that just because you weren't accepted at first does not mean there isn't a home for your project.
Exactly.
So tell us what you saw that you were enjoying.
I was really happy to catch the animation shorts at both Sundance and Slamdance. So at Slamdance, the animation shorts, also I got to interview a lot of people, which I'll note them, and go check those out on the Popcorn Talks Facebook page. It looks better on your phone, by the way. Okay, so animation shorts, there was one called, and then also for these films, go check them out on the Slamdance or Sundance websites, and you could probably get a lot more. Some of them actually have links to trailers, so you can get the visual style. And some of them, they had the whole one, so check them out, their websites. Airport, which was actually based on real audio recorded at airports, so it's just like little moments of conversations enacted out all around the world. And it's how did they talk about it? Because that filmmaker couldn't be there, but they read a message. But it was essentially like a brushstroke kind of style of art. Like it looks like real people, but it's drawn over kind of a style.
Oh, okay,
That one was very, I like that visual style being a little different.
So I just want to clarify. So physical actors and with
there weren't any actors. I think they just went and like took moments and took real things and like
okay, and then just
recorded it, yeah.
And then they painted over the image as well?
I think so.
Interesting. Fascinating.
I'm not 100%, but check it. I'd check their listing.
That one's Airplane, yeah?
That was Airport.
Airport. Okay.
Ascribed Achievements is this kind of bizarre one where a guy's talking about his family and they all have like a funny crooked neck and funny nose, but he doesn't. And then he does something and gets it anyway. So it's kind of like quirky. Black Dog is this stop motion bizarre thing where there's like a demon goat haunting a family, and shorts are a unique thing because you can just be so bizarre and it's just this little moment. But I like that one. That was cool. This other one, I'm gonna butcher how to say it, but it's like Golsa o les Malins. That was one really kind of choppy style, but it was kind of cool because it was a girl visiting her family after kind of like a communist regime and talking about it, and they're talking about like, don't talk about it because then you're bringing back the ghosts. And so she's like, well, how do you get rid of them? And it's like, in like the woman's cooking, like you can see a face and like she's like, you have to beat it out of it or something. And so it was like, oh, this is cool.
That's
and
really
weird.
Cool.
There was Icebergs, which was a stop motion animation. It was kind of other vignette moments. That one, like the trailer, you'll see it. Like it's a woman looking out at a guy doing gardening and she has like a butcher knife right below her hand and just looks at him and like waves. And he just keeps going. But it's the idea of what's below the surface that you don't know. So that one was cool. One of the award winners was, I'm like, see if I can say it right. I'm like, interstitial, something. But I think that's like the moments in between. That was a Japanese filmmaker, and I interviewed him. I don't have his name written down, sorry. But check that out on the Popcorn Talk page. So he won for Best Animation Short. Then there was Mountain Castle, Mountain Flower, Plastic, which was kind of like video gamey looking. I think it was from India, and it was just kind of comparing like nature and pollution, I think. That's why I got from it, but I was like, I get it, cool. Railment, which was also by the same Japanese filmmaker. Red Fat Cat had some funny, weird moments. And then Satellite Strangers, one honorable mention, I interviewed him as well. His was a neat thing where it's like exploring if a dot was like alive and it has little arms and legs and it looks like a little turtle and it's like flying through the air and it finds another little dot and then they like talk to each other. What? But it's this weird noise that he made and it sounds comedic. And then they do a little dance and it's just bizarre but cute. That you're just like, okay, that was fun. And then real quick, so for the animation shorts for Sundance, Manifold, that one is pretty darn funny. That one's a kind of sketchy drawing one of a fox living with his mom and other weird stuff happens. O, and it's like brackets on it. And that one was more visually pleasing for me, like visually looked interesting. It's based on science experiments. And you're like, oh, okay. Like, it makes more sense when you hear that after. And he explains
in brackets? There's a very controversial film with almost that exact same title.
Oh, interesting.
Interesting. I wonder if they're at all related.
I don't know. I interviewed him as well. A Brief Spark, Bookend by Darkness. I feel bad I don't really remember that one.
It's hard when you see this many movies in such a short, compact time.
You're like, what?
Absolutely.
Plur. Oh, I think that was one. There was one, and it's somebody, they took a real phone call. They made out with somebody at a rave, and the girlfriend calls them. And so they animated claymation stuff and like true and abstract to the phone call. Yes. It's like, why are you messing with my man? Don't you know he's with me? And it's just, you go, this is a real phone call?
Well, not only that, I just really appreciate someone being petty enough to be like, you know what?
I'm gonna put this in my film.
In order to get that voice, you must have had to get a release. One imagines.
Well, if it's anonymous.
Even so, I'm not sure that
I don't know.
It depends on, my guess is it depends on which state the film was made in.
Oh, true, good point. Because it's
like
name and likeness or something like that. Yeah.
Because in Illinois, you can't record anyone's voice without letting them know that they're being currently recorded. So unless she said somewhere in the call, and it was made in Illinois, they're like, hey, I'm recording you, just so you're aware.
No, it's a voicemail.
Oh, it's a voice.
They took the voicemail. This lady calls this person. Who's actually, their gender isn't really revealed, calls this person, and they took that voicemail and put it to an animation.
That's really cool.
It's so fun. Yeah, that one's fun. Glucose, which was the award winner, and that one I spoke with him too. His is really interesting, very blocky MTV early style animation, and that one, read the description because there's a lot more levels to it than you might get on your first viewing. Okay. And then you probably get better the second time. Eye Bags is from Korea, and it's this girl like who gets insomnia and gets like these giant bags in her eye.
I'm just picturing like giant animated
like this
bags.
big, yeah. Yes. And gets a goldfish in there and is like, I have a buddy. So bizarre. Driver's Red is beautiful. It almost looks like courtroom sketch style. And that one's based on a true story, which is really cool, about I want to say it was like a secret agent from Israel or something going after a ex-Nazi person. Oh. And it's a real story. And so they just animate like how this went down.
That sounds very
It's really good. That one was really good. Geom. Oh, that one is, I think it was also Korean. It was like a father and son have the same birthmark. And it's kind of like funny of trying to get rid of it or something. And The Burden. And that one is stop motion and bizarre and funny. That one you can see a little bit of trailer. So it's like these fish that sing in a hotel. And then there's these call center monkeys that sing and these little mice that tap dance. It's just people passing the time. So you're like, oh, okay, cool.
Cute.
So that
I
was
like it.
really fun. And yeah, I saw the Midnight Shorts program, but I'm like, I don't think those were, they might have had an animated one in that, but not really.
Okay. Just briefly about Glucose. It's very fascinating sounding film. Now, I read the description this morning. You can actually watch the film in its entirety. It's only about 14 minutes. It's already on the internet. It is about how sugar has been a part of essentially the African American experience, from cutting it down in the slave trade to morbid obesity kind of plaguing the African American community. Interesting about it, I know you said you saw it. You saw someone was shot by a police officer, but that maybe the rest of it didn't connect for you.
Yeah, for me, and then sometimes it's hard with shorts because if you are watching them all together, you maybe don't quite get it on a first viewing. Like somebody asked during the Q&A, like, where can we watch this again to like really absorb it. I didn't quite get that symbolism in it the first viewing. It made a little more sense when we talked about it after, but some of it could have been much more subtle because there is a very overt part where a police officer in this blocky little animation style shoots I want to say I'm like 99% sure it was a black person. I'm like, shoot somebody. That it's like, ooh, weird,
you would
awkward.
assume it was black, but again, just based off the description of the film.
Yes.
Okay.
But it was cool style, and he in my interview so those are I recommend watching because I talked to the filmmakers more in length of like why that particular style. What do you hope people take away from it and everything.
Definitely.
So,
watch Kari D's interviews. They're on Popcorn Talk now. Thank you for giving us this really official rundown of the animated projects at Sundance. I wish I could have been there. I'm not jealous at all. Let's move on to Lin Manuel Miranda. Well,
Lin Manuel,
yes. You know, he's got Batman up already. We can jump to Batman. It's always time to talk about Batman. The 1989 comic book Gotham by Gaslight revolutionized the comic book industry in that it allowed creators to make one-off universes that weren't necessarily... Now, for some people, this concept is confusing because obviously there's already been an Earth 2 or Earth 55 or Marvel has different dimensions as well.
Yeah.
This is different. A one-shot...
Steampunk Batman?
This is a steampunk Batman. A one-shot basically allows you to say, this story has no connection to the outside world. It's just characters in a space that I created. I cannot remember the creators of it because I am a horrible person. You should definitely read it. It's one of my favorite one-shots, and it's, again, the thing that kind of launched it 28 years ago now, which is crazy. Wow. They're making an animated film out of it. And it looks boss. I'm not going to lie. He's got the dope grappling hook. Selena Kyle, a.k.a. Catwoman, is in there. She's got her petticoat. She's got her, like, hat. Look at this Batman. Like, he is sleek. He's a little older, which I typically, for those of you who know that I have very particular depictions of Batman in my head, he's always a little bit older.
Well, that also makes more sense that he's so good because he's been doing it so long. If they started younger, I'd almost be like, really? You're that good instantly?
My whole theory about Batman is, like, look, first, like, he trains for, like, probably 5 to 8 years to become Batman before ever donning a suit. And that's him traveling the world, learning lessons. Like, in some iterations of Batman, he spends time in college, like, which I think would be vital if he's going to be a scientist and the world's greatest detective. There's just aspects that go into building that. So I like my, like... all villains established, like, drop me in the center of the world. Like, I like my Batman between, like, 32 and 36. That's what it looks like we're looking at here. Potentially even older here. He's got very deep lines on his face, so you could say 40.
So is this Catwoman here?
This is Catwoman.
Lovely.
Look at her. She is stunning in every decade, every generation. Selena Kyle tends to shine. I could not be more excited. It comes out on DVD, hold please, February 6th. But you can buy it digital now.
Okay, cool.
So both are available. Voice cast includes Anthony Head as Alfred, Yuri Lowenthal is Harvey Dent, Scott Patterson, yes, James Gordon, Tara Strong, memorably, is both Barbara Gordon and Tim Drake, which the range, first of all, if we could ever get Tara Strong in here, she's like my OG. Like, Tara has been in my head for literally ever because Rugrats is the first thing I can remember watching. So very, very cool. Let me see. Hold on. So according to Den of Geek, they like it better than the comic, which I find really fascinating.
Oh, interesting.
There's hardly any female characters in the comic.
So they added more?
Yes.
Cool.
Selena Kyle is Jennifer Carpenter and is determinedly hunting Jack the Ripper as Batman is. Yeah. So
that sounds fun.
She's hunting him. Batman's hunting him. You've got Poison Ivy is in here as well. Yeah, Victoria Gotham, Gaslight. You want to see it. Also, Bruce Greenwood is this version's Batman. I know some people were a little disappointed that not one of our more traditional Batmans, but he was Batman in Young Justice, which if you watch that show, that's a good mentor-y Batman. And again, to me, Batman's always a mentor leader. I like that. Moving on, Lin Manuel Miranda. Woo! Are you a fan of the Lin Manuel?
Yeah, I follow him on Twitter.
His
Twitter's good stuff.
Twitter
I like
ever.
Well, it's nice because he's super positive, but he'll lay it down when like you need to say something, but he doesn't do it in like a petty way.
No, you know, he's much like Sarah Silverman when he comes after people. He's like, "Why are you hurting? I don't like this.
Yeah.
I don't want you to be
We
hurting.
need to talk about
I don't
this.
need you to bring
Yeah.
hate here in my space.
Yeah.
So Sony Pictures, who has had a kind of hit or miss year, they've got SpiderMan coming up, which is going to be really great for them. Toward the end of the year, they just moved. They were like, you know what? 2018 is great, but also we need to get Lin Manuel's stuff out a little bit sooner. Now, this was supposed to come out. Vivo is the name of his animated project with Sony. It's supposed to come out December 2020. They moved it up just a month to Thanksgiving 2020, but a month in animation time, as we know, it means you have confidence that it's going to be out on time, that it's going to be beautiful, that it's going to work. He's hot commodity right now, so I understand them wanting to push it a little bit more.
Yeah, Sundance Slamdance, all the animators, I think, took almost a year to make, like, a short film. So it's just like...
Yes.
That's also, like, you know, them on their own, too.
The story of Vivo centers around a capuchin monkey with a thirst for adventure and a passion for music that makes a treacherous passage from Havana to Miami to fulfill his destiny.
Cute.
So look for that, Thanksgiving 2020. I'm really excited. I loved his work in Moana. The songs are beautiful. He's obviously very great at adapting to cultures even outside of his own. He is Puerto Rican, but it's cool that he wants to take on this kind of Cuban story. I'm excited. I love Lin Manuel.
I saw him in The Heights way back, like in 2005.
Before everybody knew who he was.
Back in the day before we all knew, but
Y'all are
it was a good show. I have my In the Heights like little t-shirt I bought from Broadway.
I love it. So yeah, we'll be looking for that, and we'll bring you more news as it becomes available.
I'm excited. Yeah, because Moana was just so fun that I'd want to see more of what he can do.
Definitely.
And there we go. He just has a really great talent of range from doing more adult content of like Hamilton, but then family friendly like Moana. So it's the range of he can do family friendly and, you know, grown-ups too.
My favorite moment from him on Twitter recently was when he took his youngest son to see the first half of Hamilton. He was like, yep, we're trying it out. Gonna take the little guy. But also, Lynch is a really great communicator too, because we took that same son to a parade like the next day. He was like, if you guys see me, just, it's fine if you want to take pictures of me, but like try not to get my son's face in photos. I was like, what a cool person to just be like, nah, I'm gonna hide my son. You know, he deserves regular life and experiences. He didn't ask for any of this, but if you're a fan, you know, just try to shoot up. Yeah, that's great. Also great, SpiderMan 2 is coming back. We spoke a couple weeks ago. I'm not actually sure if you were here or if that was Alexis.
Not the SpiderMan 2. I think we were talking about the new one.
Do we talk about Marvel canceling all of their shows?
Yes.
Okay. So this is interesting because they just confirmed season 2. So clearly not all of their shows are being canceled.
Yeah.
I am enjoying this version of Spider-Man. It's the Spider-Verse. I think you only have Miles Morales. I did not finish this first season, guys, but I did enjoy what I saw. But it's coming back. It looks really amazing. Here's the official synopsis from Marvel. The second season of Marvel Spider-Man follows Peter Parker in his sophomore year as a more experienced superhero and a more confident student at one of the most intimidating Horizon High School. Picking up where season 1 left off in an epic showdown against Doc Ock and the Sinister Five and Hobgoblin, season 2 will offer much higher stakes for both Peter and his heroic alter ego, Spider-Man. He'll also learn how to navigate new responsibilities, like working at his local newspaper, the Daily Bugle, while enduring Doc Ock's series of obstacles in the villain's attempt to get rid of Spider-Man once and for all. The action-packed season will continue to touch on Spider-Man's relatable themes, including friendship, loyalty, and heroism, while staying true to its signature sense of comedy. That's really awesome.
That sounds good.
I've heard some rumors and some minglings that this might cover, I'm not sure if it's in these notes, might cover different story arcs of Spider-Man that are pretty popular. Which would be cool.
Well, because like with cartoons, you can sometimes explore more than you would do on live action because it's animation, so it's easier to do.
It could be this Superior Spider-Man arc, which of course was written by Dan Slott. It makes sense. Dan Slott's on everything for Marvel. We do not know yet, but I'm excited. It looks good. Suit looks good. The animation style is a little bit different. Marvel's been kind of mixing 2D and 3D art a lot lately, which makes sense. This feels a little more 2D, a little more flat, especially in the character design.
I like 2D more.
I know you do. I
mean, I like some computer.
Yeah.
It just depends how disjointed it feels from the 2D. Like Reboot, like that was all 3D.
I don't know if I saw Reboot.
I'm all, I think it's Reboot. That was like in the 90s, and they have like their blue skin.
Reboot, yeah, definitely in the
Yes,
90s.
that one is so good, and that's
That missed
totally
me. I didn't
computer.
get that one.
He'll pull up one.
Thank you.
But then like the picture that you're just showing made me think kind of like one of the X-Men where they were in high school, that one version.
Yes.
It kind of looks like that a little bit, like adjacent.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. A little
yeah.
more square in the jaws, a little more
There you
anime
go.
style in some of the jaws and things. Oh my god, throwbacks.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about this.
Like that was a
Wow,
bizarre show
wow.
and completely 3D.
Okay, I'll be honest. Things that are 3D where the hair doesn't move really freaks. A lot of early 3D animation was too weird for me to look at because
is
I couldn't
weird.
comprehend what was happening really.
It's not in a regular reality though, so
It
I
is
think I was
not.
okay with it.
But
that's a
Reboot
good
was
point.
good. The story structures of it, for what I can remember, were really solid.
Yeah.
I remember that being a thing that hooked me. But man, hair that doesn't move, I'm out. Which is why I can't.
They
play a lot
have
of
really
early,
strong gel
It's true.
and hairspray.
Early
Don't move.
Early 2000s video games are the same
Yeah,
way.
no,
I'm like,
it is,
why does her whole ponytail move in this
Yes.
manner? Silliness. Okay.
Oh yeah, that
Wow.
the faces. Yep.
Wow,
like-
classics.
Yep.
You guys took me back. I completely forgot about it. Let's move on to the Oscars.
Yes.
Because I have some nitpicking to do.
Sure. I saw, well, real quick on Twitter, I saw, and it was one of those, they might be more biased because it's one of those, like, you know how you see now, like, who favorited and who liked and retweeted, but someone's like, no anime films nominated this year. So,
One, yes. In a year with two really solid anime
Yeah, there were
films that
some good
should have
ones.
been nominated. Oh, God, our titles. So hard.
Your Name
Yes.
was really
That's
good.
the one where they switch bodies, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Your Name, I thought for sure would get like some kind of credit.
Right.
It is astounding to me that Ferdinand.
You're like,
Here's my problem with it. It's not by any stretch of the imagination a bad film. But like Boss Baby, it is not a great standout film. And if you look at the Oscars, it's not best film of the year. It's best achievement in film that year. Which means says you're pushing the envelope. You're trying new things.
Yeah.
You're going in a different direction. I don't see it for either Ferdinand or Boss Baby. Like,
No.
Boss Baby is cute. It's fun. It's like, I watched it on Netflix maybe a couple months ago. And I was like, oh, okay.
it's all right. Yeah,
I
yeah.
get it. It's,
Yep.
you know, the heaven with the baby things, the sibling fighting. It was an interesting way to explore that, but it doesn't really grab you. Ferdinand the Bull, another Sony film, which I just got to say, like, Sony, I need you to pump some more money, just like Star. Just start pumping money into your actual films and maybe not so much on your voice talent. Because here's the thing.
Oh, and I
Go
was
ahead.
going to say the other one we talked about anime was A Silent Voice.
Thank you.
I did like that one because, yeah, it covered the topic of someone being deaf, which I don't feel I've seen in, like, any anime, really.
Yeah, totally.
Or definitely not often. It's one of those, oh, this is new.
Yeah, in the same way that we gravitate toward, like, we don't deal a lot with people who are mute in The Shape of Water.
Exactly.
Like, that pushes an envelope. Like, how do you be heard in a world that is so used to just listening for people?
Yeah, and
You
that
know?
one got a big. I saw a great thread. Somebody's like, "Well, she, doesn't really have a voice," and
I
like,
felt bad for that person
she
because
didn't.
they're a comedian and I got what they were going for, but the way
Yeah.
they phrased it, and then she went through and apologized. I don't know
She
if you
did.
read. Yeah, she
I saw
apologized to every
everyone,
single
yeah.
person. I'm sorry, I cut you off so people may not know what we're talking about.
I don't remember the comedian's name.
Jessica something, I believe.
Somebody posted like, "Oh, it's this female character, but she has no voice," and like being literal and figurative, and then people were like, "Wow, way to ignore the deaf community," and blah blah, and it was like, oh yeah, it was. Even if she's trying to get funny, you kind of go, ooh, not.
See, and I almost commented on it because what bothered me about it was that was the whole point of the movie. And I wasn't sure if she was trying to make a joke about the entire point of the movie. And I didn't want to harp on her because, again, you're a comedian. Sometimes they just don't land. And
I like the memes, though, that were like the FU from the film.
From the film. That was beautiful.
So funny.
But yeah, but, the whole point was like, you are not voiceless even if you don't have a voice.
Exactly.
Like, you can make yourself heard. It just might, you
And
have to do it different
understood.
ways. Yes. And people are communicating all the time, even when
yeah.
they're not speaking. Like,
Yep.
all of those, like, topics of exploration are great. To bring it back to the animation,
Yes.
this is my biggest problem. Like, Ferdinand is just like, oh, well, we love animals and we don't want people to be hurt, and, we should treat them with respect. Beautiful. Like,
You're all cool.
and chase your dreams, which is, to be honest,
Common
it's
for animated
what we
movies.
do in animation. I'm not against these movies. I think that they
Yes.
can be vital to children and their developmental process. I don't think they need to be nominated for Oscars. Whereas Coco had a city with literally a million lights programmed into, like, cinematic achievements are
stunning.
there. It is
Yep.
visually stunning. It is culturally relevant
Yep.
and politically topical. Like, there's
Yep.
so many reasons that this movie should be nominated. I want to sidestep while we're still on the Oscars to say Coco is nominated against This Is Me, which is the song from Greatest Showman.
Oh,
This Is Me
for best song.
won Best Song at the Golden Globes. Do you think Coco's Remember Me will beat out This Is Me from...
No.
See, this is my thought too, and I'm
not-
glad you're with me. Not because I
Yeah.
don't want it to win, but because everyone's like, how could Coco not win? Like, it's blah, blah, blah. I was like, I bet Disney walks away empty this year, which would be nuts in
Well,
the
it'd be
first year
great
in
for
a
it to
long
win
time.
Best Animated.
But I think Breadwinner's going to win.
Oh, that's true.
And here's why. Breadwinner didn't win the Golden Globe, but it's by the same studio that did Book of Kells. It is incredibly politically relevant. It's
Yes.
a gorgeous, gorgeous film. And it pushes envelopes that I think the Oscars want to see. Now, maybe they'll choose Coco, because that also, you know.
Yeah.
Again, it deserves awards. I'm just laying my bets out early that I think Breadwinner
Sure.
will win. And I think This Is Me might take Best Song. If Coco goes home without an Oscar, I think Disney is going to start pulling some hat. They're going to be so upset. Disney has not lost
And
like
it's-
all categories in a long time. Because even if they lose, it's usually Pixar picking it up. You know.
I mean, it's hard too because I mean, I love Coco and all, but I'm like, oh, I did really like Greatest Showman.
I feel
So,
you.
and that's a really good song from Greatest Showman. So
and
it's like,
again, politically relevant, timely,
Yeah.
impactful. The best
Yep.
thing about Greatest Showman is the music from it.
Yes.
So I understand people's desire to want to award that aspect of
music,
it.
yep.
It will be very interesting to see
It's gonna be a
what
tight
happens
race.
with there.
Actually,
Yeah.
that's a lot of things I've been hearing about this year. Is it's really like, on who's gonna win? You know, it's
It's
not
been a very lackluster
super
year
clear.
for cinema. Like,
Yeah.
except for me, Get Out. Like, there hasn't been any film where I'm like, hold the presses. Even Shape of Water, which I have to admit, I really enjoyed this movie.
I liked it. I didn't
I
love
don't know
it.
if I don't know if I
Yeah.
call it like a great film. Like, I walked away, like, my heart felt lighter. I was like, I am really
That was
glad
really cool.
I went and saw this
Yeah.
movie. Like, what great performances. I'm glad Guillermo got to make a movie that he was been talking about since he was a
Yeah.
kid. But it's not anywhere near Guillermo's best film.
I have other ones of his I like more.
A lot more. And it certainly does not beat Get Out for me. In the same way that I don't know
I
if
would kind of argue though for Get Out is when every side note on that, and if you guys haven't seen it, it's been too long. So this is spoiler or not
it
spoiler.
has not been too long. It is coming to theaters. They're re-releasing
Again.
it in theaters.
Well, this in connection to another movie. There's another movie that came out that had a similar plot line. So I didn't like that when Get Out, people were like,
What
"Oh my
movie?
god, Skeleton Key." It's exact same big part of it
Here's
is
the
exactly
difference.
the same.
Here's the
no, Cole, there's so many differences.
But the main difference being that Get Out centers
Yes.
on the black guy.
Yes, no,
Whereas- 'cause
absolutely.
I freaking love the Skeleton Key.
I love
and it's
that
kind
too.
of blowing my mind that I had not made similar
Really?
connections.
Oh,
I
yeah.
literally cannot wait to go home and tell my roommate about it. I'm so excited
Yeah,
about this.
no, race 100% is very important for Get Out. And then that's the main character. The person of color is the main character. A black male is the main character. But it was weird that when it came out, everybody forgot this other movie existed.
This is how I feel about
you're just
Lady
like-
Bird. I know you guys came here for animation, but it's the Oscar, so give us a second.
Yeah.
This is how I felt when Lady Bird came out, because Real Women Have Curves has literally the exact, like, you could lay one over the top of the other and get some similar scenes.
And you're like-
even. This is not me saying that Greta Gerwig is at all stealing the
No.
story, because these mother-daughter, we don't see eye-to-eye stories
Yeah.
are very similar. However, Real Women Have Curves did not get this kind of attention.
right.
And I think it has a much, much stronger ending in that, it's definitely
that
spoilers. So, like,
America
it is America Ferrera.
I do like that. That was a good movie.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
And if you remember the ending, I'll let you guys, I will wave dramatically when it's over. At the end of that movie, her mother cannot go out of the house to tell her goodbye. Like, she's stubborn. She's like, look, you're not behaving in the way that I
Yeah.
want to. You're not doing the things I think you need to be doing. I think it's a bad decision. I'm not going to
Yep.
support you by leaving this house. And it's heartbreaking, but you also want, like, you understand why she has to go, because you were never
Right.
going to get there anyway. At the end of Lady Bird, her mom comes out, and I'm like, well, what is the whole point of the, like, oh, well, actually, I do love you, we see eye to eye, which is a sweet and really great thing to happen, but
Yep.
also...
Well, here we go. I got one that ties back into animation. Another one that
I'm
people go,
waving
wait.
so people know they can come
Yes.
back. Okay.
Inception, when that came out, and everyone's like, this is brand new and groundbreaking, and which it's a good movie. Do not get me wrong, it's a good movie. But I'm like, did y'all see Dreamscape? And I'm like, and Dark
Matters or
Dark City.
Dark, yes.
Dark City. And the one that it's super similar to is Paprika, and which is a Japanese animated movie.
And super great.
And so good. And so I don't. It's great to have a movie and praise it, but don't say it's original and ignore the other films. So that was my only little little thing against Get Out. That I'm like, did you guys forget these other ones? And I finally saw his Black Mirror episode, and I was like,
it is so good.
Yeah.
I think about going to the Lemley. I know in a couple of weeks they're going to be doing all of the shorts that are nominated for Oscars.
Ooh,
a screening
nice.
of. So I'll call you. I'll let you know. We should go see the animated
so now
ones.
you guys know some theaters might be doing that.
Yeah. If you live in California, SoCo, in the Los Angeles area, they have like 8 theaters. I think they do it at all of them for like maybe a week or two.
Okay.
Where you can just see the shorts. So we should go see the animated shorts and then come back and talk about who we hope wins for those.
I think that sounds good.
Cool beans. Guys, this was super fun.
Loving Vincent. We should give a nod to that. I didn't see it, but that one I was like, this is like achievement in terms of like taking a real movie and painting it like a Van Gogh painting on every frame.
24 oil paintings per second.
Like,
that's incredible. I hear the movie's kind of
but see, this is one where I would say it could win for technical achievement.
And I would not be upset with it.
Yeah.
Just please, for the love of God, not Boss Baby or Ferdinand. It's just weird.
You know what? There's been a couple years like that where the animated movie that won, I was like, really? Yeah. It's happened more than once. Yep.
Didn't Frozen win Best Animated Picture, or am I crazy?
I forget which year it was. It bugged me so much.
I
I blocked it from my memory, but I know there was one where I was like, oh, come on.
We might have to do some research and bring it back to you guys, because honestly, no. So check out Loving Vincent, because again, just technically, holy cow.
Yes.
I know it's a short episode. I apologize. I have to go see Black Panther now.
Darn.
But we'll be back next week with more like hot topics and opinions about films at large. Until then, Kari, where can they find you?
Yes, you guys can all find me on social media at Kari D Lane. That's KaridLane. And then make sure to check out the Popcorn Talks Facebook page. Check out all my interviews from Sundance and Slamdance. And then later on today, Marvel TV News at 7, and then the Scare Guy at 10 p.m.
And I've been Joelle Monique. You can find me all over the internet at Joelle Monique, every week at blackgirlnerds.com. And now on my new favorite show, Wednesdays at 6, I think. Check the AfterBuzz schedule. Black Lightning is amazing. We have an all-black female panel. It happened by accident. We looked for guys, could not find one. But it's okay, because these girls kill it. So check us out there. And until next week, this has been Animation Weekly. We'll see you guys soon.
See ya.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.